Good evening from Wales, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. Today, we're going to be giving our predictions for WWE Saturday night's main event this Saturday. It's going to be a hell of a show, no doubt about it. But we have a little bit of drama to get into out of the gates today, because our first panelist, he's not happy about something. He's very unhappy about a certain something which happened on this week's episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite. So the Tuesday Night Delight on a Friday. How are you today, Shad? And what is your beef with this private party situation?
Oh, man. Okay, yeah. I'm doing good, but I'm not doing good. And let me tell you why I'm not doing good. Private Party were never treated like actual champions, and that makes my blood boil like hot tea. And I love the Hurt Syndicate. I understand why they should be champions in any matchup against Private Party. 9 times out of 10, they should beat Private Party. And then Wednesday, they should have beaten Private Party. But the issue is this: why was that match set up so quickly? Why was Private Party not given an actual title opportunity or an actual title reign? They went against nobody of significance. They went up against a bunch of makeshift tag teams on Collision. They were never treated like real champions. And for a young tag team that is homegrown in AEW, has been there from the beginning, and you saw how big of a moment it was for them to just strip them and act like they are jobbers on a Wednesday is asinine. It's not cool. Private Party deserves so much better. Those two brothers, Quinn and Zay, talented wrestlers. You saw the character starting to evolve. How they were just squashed like bugs. It makes me still mad. I'm still a sicko, but that joint had me tight, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I honestly don't blame you at all, and I said on the record that I'm happy the Hurt Syndicate are tag team champions now, because I do think they're going to elevate these tag team championships and make it feel like it's in the main event scene once again. But you are right. Private Party worked for a long time to get to that point. And even if they were going to have a reign this short, they could have done that and actually have given them a reign in the month and a half, 2 months they held the belts. They could have done something in that time, but they didn't. And that, I think, is the most frustrating part about it. I Make Beats does agree with you. He's saying Private Party have been wronged. DCX Warlord says they were transitional champions. Apparently, even Mia Yim said that. Wow.
She hates Shelton Benjamin. That's why she said that.
Oh, okay. I forgot about them to add that little feud, didn't they? Oh, gosh. But also joining us today, we have Megan Ambers. How are you, Megan?
I'm doing good. I definitely agree with Shad. I feel like Private Party was robbed, but at the same time, I think we already knew that was going to be a squash match anyway. Like, we knew that the Hurt Syndicate was going to walk away with the titles. I'm just kind of glad that they didn't just throw the heavyweight title on Bobby like they did Mercedes.
Beef indeed. But I mean, that is a big conversation for another day, no doubt about it. Causing a lot of controversy right now, Mercedes Moné. Did you hear about the live stream last night?
I got bits and pieces. I saw bits and pieces of it, heard bits and pieces of it. It's still a talk of today. Yeah. Well, she knows how to play the game. That's all I can say. She knows how to play the game, and could only give her props for that.
I mean, her saying, she's like, I got all these bots in my comments. She goes on to explain what these bots do. It's just fans asking her questions. But it's just...
She has a choice. A choice is she can ignore it. She doesn't have to answer, but she chooses to answer them because, like I said, Mercedes know how to play the game. She knows people will talk about
That's
it.
true. That is true.
She
She
knows.
is very good
She's
at
been
that,
in the
keeping
business
her
for a
name in people's
long
mouths.
time. Yes.
No doubt about it, but let's talk about somebody else whose name we can't seem to get out of our mouths at the minute. Rhea Ripley, one of the biggest stars in this industry, statistically one of WWE's biggest draws. It's between her and Cody when it comes to full-time wrestlers right now. She is really, really up there and is absolutely a star. But while she is a star, will she still be women's champion? World Women's Champion after this Saturday night's main event, because she is defending the championship against the former WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax. Now, personally, this match kind of infuriates me, and the reason for that is Nia Jax should be going after Tiffy right now. It should be time for Tiffy. It should be Nia Jax's Tiffy time. She should not be happy at all. The fact that she betrayed her, she cashed in on her, but instead she's putting her focus on Rhea Ripley. And I'm going to say this, right? I, at times, have been very critical of AEW, but I think if AEW did this with one of their champions, people would be in tears. People would be ranting online about it. And let's be real, people are basically saying nothing about this, and that's kind of annoyed me as well. Shad, I'd love to get your thoughts and your prediction. Who will walk out as champ?
Yeah, so the main roster booking in the women's division is borderline laughable at the current time. Um, a lot of the storylines, to your point, just show no sense of direction or they drag a lot. And the last two storylines that we had for the titles, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, it dragged for quite a bit. It was a long story, which is great, but a lot of fluff in between all of it. And that goes for the same between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Now we got to the finish line on both storylines. Rhea Ripley got her comeuppance. She's the world champion. Tiffany Stratton got her comeuppance against Nia Jax, cashed in, became champion. How the direction led both of Rhea and Nia here in such a quick manner, and how we got here for Saturday night main event, super lazy. Super lazy. You look at Raw, there's a long list of women that Rhea Ripley could potentially have matches against. That could be viable competitors that you could have built for a short storyline to get into Saturday night main event, and it could have benefited them. You look at a person like a Sonya Deville. You look at a person like a Zoe Stark, who's very talented. They have great chemistry amongst each other prior in Rhea's title reign. You look at somebody like a Natalia, who has great chemistry. You know, this a long list. Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile. Like, there's so many great women, and we're, going to the other pool of SmackDown, and we're picking the person who's just lost her title due to a cash-in. And on Nia's sake, it makes no sense. Why are you going for Rhea Ripley? Why aren't you going for the woman that took your title for you on your actual brand? They don't respect the brand split. They're using this bogus transfer window as a crutch to make people go back and forth on shows. It's lazy. I know we're going to Mania season. I know we're going to Rumble season. I don't think all the booking is bad at all. It's just when we get to the ladies on the main roster, you don't put the effort time on all situations like you do in the men. And I don't think that's fair. So I am looking forward to the match nonetheless. I like both women a lot. I think Nia Jax is incredible. I think Rhea Ripley is also incredible. But man. Nia's got to take another L again. Nia's got to take another L again. And I don't like it because I don't think she should beat Rhea, but Nia Jax is such a dominant force. There's something about booking her in such effort where she's going to eat another L. I feel bad for her, but it's Rhea's time. She just got the title. This is a good victory for her as we progress in the Mania season. So I do got mommy always on top, Rhea Ripley.
I do have to agree with you. I'm going to go for Rhea Ripley as well. And it just sucks, right? Because I do agree with numero one Superfly. I do think Nia is going to get her rematch against Tiffy, potentially at the Chamber, potentially on a SmackDown. But the fact is, Nia is then going to go into that match on a losing streak because of this. I don't see the point in it. But Megan, I want to get your thoughts on it.
Well, to be honest, I don't try to. I really don't try to agree with Shad too much. Like we just have uh this thing going on back behind the scenes, you know. But I have to agree. I do not see Rhea losing her title. To be truthfully honest, I thought they was going to do better. I thought they was going to do better for this Saturday night's main event by having more than one women's match. But this match felt last minute. It felt as though they looked at the match card and realized no women was fighting, and they hurried up and put this match together. With that being in mind, we know that Rhea is not going to lose her title. She just won it. She just won the belt. Um, and again, it just feels rushed. Even though Rhea and Nia do have history, we can even go as far as they was hinting at it at War Games, at Survivor Series, but um, this is one of those moments where I really wish that Paul would allow Sean to have a hole in the booking for the women's division on the main roster because we've seen how Sean takes care of his ladies on NXT. I always say that. Sugar Daddy Sean is going to take care of his women on NXT. Paul is more focused on the male roster, the champions, the bigger stories, and a lot of the times I feel like the women are being kind of neglected. So I do feel like this match is kind of rushed, but yeah, if I had to choose, it's definitely going to be Rhea.
I do completely agree with you. I mean, it's night and day how they're booking women's wrestling on NXT compared to, I mean, any of the products in wrestling right now. That truly is the one place where it is 50-50. And I mean, let's be real, women's wrestling is the best thing on NXT 9 out of 10 weeks. It is. So
Yeah.
I do agree with you, Megan. I would love to see Shawn Michaels
And it
take
feels good that
control of
we
some of the booking.
agreed.
Yeah, well,
We
when
agree
you're right, you're
together.
right. When you're right, you're right. And yeah, I would there has to be a winner and a loser in these type of situations. And yes, Nia just lost her title to Tiffy Time, Tiffany Stratton, um, who is on the rise as Nia is coming down a little bit. Um, and like I said, the story doesn't really make much sense between her and Rhea, so that's why it just feels like we need a match. Rhea, Nia, you two together
I,
for Saturday. It just felt like it last minute. It feels
It
very
does.
last minute to me.
I I also gotta say this too, and I hope this isn't the case. Rhea is so damn good as a superstar that we tend to just forget about it. But they didn't book her last title reign amazing
Oh, it
either.
was dreadful. Dreadfully
So
Yeah.
booked.
I'm hoping we don't get you know, a repeat of the same type of title reign. It shouldn't be hard. She's that good where a title reign
Exactly.
booking should be fairly easy, but
It's harder to
sometimes
mess up than to like I don't understand how they did it. They just didn't use her the first time. We got quite a few comments here. Firstly, over on Instagram, J Money saying they should have given us Rhea versus Io for Saturday night's main event. I wouldn't, unless that is the Mania match, I wouldn't have been against that at all. I'd love to see that, but I am hoping it's the Mania match, but I don't think it will be either. I think that's
yeah.
your prediction, Shard, isn't it? That's the Mania match.
With her and EO, that's what I
Yeah.
hope it is. I
Yeah.
hope
No,
that's the
I hope
match.
so too, but I
Yeah.
can't see it. But who knows?
It's between her and EO, or maybe her and like a returning
Becky.
Flair or Becky. I could see like one of those. I think Flair will probably go against Tiffany, so I could see Becky returning and going against her, or it being Io. I mean, you can't go wrong with either as long as it's booked
Yeah,
good. The issue is Io's like really over and she's a baby face, so I don't know
that's
how
true.
you kind of do that.
That is absolutely true. We got quite a few comments over on YouTube as well. We have Jonathan Watson in the comments. Shout out to you. We got MDB shouting out Megan, shouting out Shard, and then shouting out British Clark, which is a nickname which I'm still not going to let catch on, MDB. But I hope you are having a great day. But he is saying that Io could win the Rumble. I do agree. I mean, no, I don't see it, to be honest, but I really hope I'm wrong because I love Io. I think she is absolutely terrific. J Money says triple threat: Flair versus Tiffy versus Nia at Mania. Maybe.
No,
I think
no.
it's singles.
It
Tiffy
has
versus
to
That
be.
got
Charlotte.
to be a one. That got to be a one
It
on one.
has to be. It has to be. It
Yeah.
has to be a passing of the torch moment between Charlotte and Tiffany. And I don't know how Charlotte's going to feel about losing her first WrestleMania match back, but Tiffany has to win that match.
I think Charlotte will be down for it. I
You
think
think she would be?
yeah, because I gotta give
As
her.
long as it's main eventing?
Well,
I
no,
think Rick wouldn't
well,
be, but
well, here's the thing, and this isn't even on Charlotte. The fans act like she books all of her matches that she wins the title. That was
Right.
Vince having her win all them damn times. Like that wasn't her. I'm sure she would have no problem putting over a young talent. Like people act like she is making the calls. I think she'd be selfless and put over the young talent and help her establish herself.
Right.
I will say this. I'm actually going to disagree with you guys slightly. Because if Charlotte, she's been gone for what, like a year now? She's been
Right.
Mhm.
gone for a long time. She's a huge star. I mean, technically speaking, she's won the most women's championships out of anybody in WWE history. So if she is returning, I do think she should be presented as a big deal. I think almost this should be her Roman Reigns moment where she becomes the star who carries the division. I actually do think if she faces Tiffy at Mania, I actually think she should win. I think that's the right move.
I don't agree.
I don't agree because I tell you
The
why I don't.
silence is deafening.
I tell you why I don't agree with you on that, Ben. Charlotte Flair will always be Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Tiffany Stratton has more to lose losing at the Mania than gain. If she loses and is used as kind of a stepping stone for Flair to get back into the title picture, I don't know where she goes after that. I feel like they have someone. You look at people like Tiffany's, the Jades. Y'all need to really invest the time to make them dominant stars because the stars of today will not be the stars for tomorrow for a while. MDB
That's
even
true.
said it. Charlotte's pushing 40. She's not going to be doing it for a while. Becky, Bailey, like a lot of them are not going to be doing this for a long time. So you need to have these people like a Tiffany, like a Jade, like a Lyra Valkyria, all the women that are going to get called up. You need to position them and let them kind of become the next stars for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I do completely agree with you there, but my point is more so Charlotte wins now, and then maybe Tiffy wins it back down the line, and it goes full circle. Because,
You know,
like you said, Charlotte's pushing, she's pushing 14. I do think she's got at least another 10 years in this industry, 10, 15 years even. But
no.
I
55?
my
No.
dad went until he was,
What?
78 or something
Well,
in the
look,
ring.
Yeah,
I,
but it's
I, I-
different,
I'll
bro.
just, I'll just
He's
put
an
it this
idiot.
way. I'll just put it this way. Nina Samuels, we both interviewed her together, Ben, and
Yeah,
she said that women wrestlers reach the glass ceiling much faster than
that is
male
true.
wrestlers. And so even she realizes that there is a cap for the women when it comes down to wrestling. Now, I do understand from both perspectives, but when I think of Tiffany losing at WrestleMania, it's giving Austin Theory and John Cena. I don't see how Austin Theory facing John Cena has benefited Austin Theory in any way, sense, or form. And that was
That
supposed
that
to help
that's true.
him.
That example's true.
And I feel like that is what will happen with Tiffany because she's on this rise right now. And if she was to lose to Charlotte at WrestleMania, the biggest, grandest show of them all, lose her title after winning the title, after only being on SmackDown for a year, it will feel like it was all for nothing. She will
Oh,
feel
I
like a
don't agree with
placeholder.
that. I don't agree with that at
But it
all.
will. She will feel like a placeholder champion because,
Mhm.
for months we waited for her to cash in on Nia. And then she do. And then in a couple of months she lose to
It's
Charlotte.
and it's also the wrestler we're talking about. Tiffany is a dominant force. She's big, strong, athletic.
Mm.
She should be factored in position in that manner. And to me, it's like when it's like, yeah, like you said, it's the passing of the torch, man. Like you need to have Charlotte be like, you're next up. Here's the baton. Run with it. Do what I did. It's your turn to do that. And
I,
I just don't trust them to get her back. If she loses her,
that point,
I think
I'll
it's the
agree with
trust
you on in
also.
terms of the fear. But this is what I will say, right? All in wrestling, the best passing of the torch storylines have always been where first the veteran, in this case Charlotte, which again, perhaps she doesn't have too long left, but I think that's you got to make the most of it. If she wins this first one, then Tiffy's heartbroken, then she wins to get the win eventually, and then they can do a third match. That way, you're properly passing the torch. It doesn't look like you're just because people are going to call her Tiffy Hogan if she just beats everyone. You're going to keep fans loving her if you have her lose and then rebuild her for her to eventually take it. You are completely right, Megan, on Austin Theory, but I think that was quite different because he was a heel as well, and also just John Cena completely buried him on the mic because he wasn't ready for that position, whereas I do think Tiffy is.
Yeah, well, I mean, really quickly, I do feel like the other two horsewomen that are still in WWE has already started that position and choosing who
Much.
they feel should replace them. We've seen that with Becky and Lyra, and I think we're currently seeing that with Bailey and Roxanne. So, they're already picking who they feel is in the right position to replace them, to be the new four horsewomen. And right now, you know, it will only be right for Charlotte to make sure that Tiffany continues on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, either way, I'm not going to complain about seeing Tiffy for longer, to be honest with you. But
Right.
I could see it either way. But it is Tiffy time right now. But will it be Nia Jax's time? All of us agree it won't be. But now let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. Shard, I'm going to go to you straight away on this one. Who are you predicting to get the W?
I love you, Solo. I got Jacob Fatu winning, man. Let me first and foremost say this is the match I am most excited for on Saturday night main event. This is Clash of the Titans. Braun Strowman to me is one of the more underrated 7-footers in pro wrestling. He's got a great in-ring style. I feel like character-wise they could book him a little bit better, but nonetheless he does what he does. Jacob Fatu is one of them ones, as I like to say. There is not a more just all around talent in pro wrestling than Jacob Fatu. I have been preaching this from years now when he was doing stuff in MLW, doing stuff in the independents. The guy very well could be the most talented wrestler out of that bloodline family, out of the Fatus, all of that. Like he can cut a hell of a promo. He can just athletically do stuff that big men shouldn't be able to do. He's gotten right with his body. I haven't seen him leaned up, and he's just been on an absolute tear. We're starting to see WWE push him more as a singles guy. This is the first stepping stone for us to be like, oh, he just dog walked. He just dog walked a 7-footer in Braun Strowman. He's gonna be in position for main event sooner than later. So yeah, I got my dog Jacob Fatu. I think my cat over here also thinks Jacob Fatu is going to win, right, Kai?
Hey.
Yeah.
I completely agree as well. I mean, like you said, Shad, this is the first time Jacob Fatu has been in a big singles match, and he has to get this W 100%. He can't lose. Strowman doesn't need the win.
Bro, when he Samoan drops Braun Strowman, the
Oh,
world is gonna go crazy tomorrow.
absolutely. MDB says Yawn Strowman. I think that's a bit harsh. He's improved so much. I will defend Braun.
That's a good pun, though.
I had
Braun Strowman is insane.
I had a conversation with Braun actually a couple of years ago when somebody at Wrestling Public, I think, criticized him and he commented on our post. But he's a nice guy, but I do think he's improved so much in the ring, to be fair, as well. Sports for You podcast says not Jon Strowman, lol. MDB says Jacob Fatu is one of us. The Tribal Wolf, hell of a new nickname as well. Megan, do you agree with us on this one?
Yes, I do. I do. I feel like this is the moment where we've been waiting for Jacob Fatu to show up in WWE for the longest time, and he has proven to be an even scarier enforcer than Solo was. So, yeah, he's gonna take down. He is going to chop that big tree down, and that might bruise Braun's ego a little bit, but I don't see it being the end of them two. I hope it's not. I hope this builds a feud between them two, at least while my man Bronson Reed is gone. He's injured, but hopefully this will build a feud between these two men. I'm looking
Falls
forward
Count
to
Out
it.
Anywhere match. That would be insane, where they just trash the arena.
It has to. We have to. We
We
have to.
have to see that indeed. Let's talk, though, about something else which you guys all have to see. And of course, that is Demand Progress Plus. If you guys don't know what Demand Progress Plus is, it is the subscription service for Progress Wrestling in the United Kingdom. But also, there's some Defy Wrestling on it, and there's more as well. TNT Extreme Wrestling, there's tons of independent wrestling promotions in the UK on it. And if you use code What's Progress 1, you get 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and more. Now, let's get back to the Saturday night's main event action, because we have to talk about the Intercontinental Championship and a match which I think a lot of people thought was going to be at WrestleMania, and that is Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. Of course, Sheamus still fighting to get that first Intercontinental Championship. Megan, who do you think will walk out Intercontinental Champion?
I am going for Sheamus. I'm rooting for Sheamus. This is a four-time heavyweight champion. This is a three-time United States champion. This is a four-time Raw Tag Team champion, and he is a one-time SmackDown Tag Team champion. This is the only title that he has not held. And I feel like for them to put these two men up against each other once again, minus Ludwig, tells me that they have listened to the fans and the fans want to see Sheamus with this title. Now, I don't know if people would necessarily agree with me or not, but I don't feel like Braun Breaker needs this title. I think he is already a force without the title. We have seen that in NXT. We have seen that since he has been on the main roster with his feud with Sami Zayn, his feud with Jey Uso, and now this budding feud between him and Sheamus. I don't think he needs the title. He doesn't. I really feel like as much as Triple H has made sure that um, his wrestlers have managed to get every title that they have wanted to achieve throughout their careers, I do not see him sparing Sheamus. I do think that Sheamus is going to win this title tomorrow night, a Saturday night's main event.
Wow, a big call, a new champion. And
Yeah.
Isaac Tasami over on Instagram says, yes, then let the other guy win it back at the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't want that just because we've done that with Braun and Jey Uso, but I do agree, Braun wouldn't be hurt by this. But just, they are hot potatoing the title a little bit. So if they do that, just make sure to give Sheamus a long reign. I would love to see him do it. I absolutely would love it so we can see banger after banger after banger.
Yes.
But I don't think we will. I'm gonna
You know what?
predict. I'm gonna predict Braun. I think he's gonna hold it until Mania. I
Yeah.
do. I think we're gonna have Braun Breaker hold that title for a little bit longer. Sports for You Wrestling says he loves Sheamus too. He wants him to complete the Sheamus slam, but he thinks the dogs will be out and Braun Breaker wins. MTB says Sheamus being IC champion is the same thing as Fetch becoming a thing. It ain't
I'm
happening.
letting y'all know, since the both of y'all are against me, I'm blocking y'all both. Okay? I'm blocking y'all both.
I gotta sing this though.
Yes.
What's
Braun,
your
Right.
call?
he said, Braun's a movement by himself. With the IC title, they're forced together. I like
What's
that,
your
bro.
call, Shad?
Oh man, I'm a cat owner, as y'all can see, but I gotta go with the dog, the big dog in the yard, word to Sandlot. I'm gonna go Braun Breaker, but I don't like that this match is tomorrow because I do think Sheamus should be an IC champion just because he's already told us it's meant so much to him. But I think Braun gets it. But I wouldn't be surprised if, look, Saturday Night Main Event needs a little curveball thrown to make it feel special. If not, it feels like it's just a house show, but it is what it is.
Well, I
Right.
might just give you a curveball in a second. But firstly, shout out to JMoney17 over on Instagram. He's saying he's at work watching us right now and he loves the content we put out. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. But now let's go on to talk about the big one, the main event. Jey Uso fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. He is taking on the current champion Gunther. And guys, I'm getting the siren ready
Oh yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
I have a big call. I am making a call right now, and that call is that we will have a new World Heavyweight Champion. I am predicting that Jey Uso is going to dethrone Gunther. Shock us all.
Ooh.
Gunther's reign just hasn't gone very well, unfortunately. And at this point, when that happens, I think Jey Uso is going to hold it until Elimination Chamber when he loses it to Drew McIntyre, and they either do a triple threat with McIntyre, Punk, and Rollins, or potentially even add Roman Reigns to it at WrestleMania. Megan, I saw your reaction. I'm going to go to you
Yeah.
first. What's your call on this one?
Ooh. Well, that's a shocker. That is a shocker. And I feel like if that happens, Triple H had finally heard my prayers and pulled the trigger. Honestly, I have so much faith in Jay. I really do. I have a lot of faith in him, and I feel like he will make a great champion, just not tomorrow. I do not see him winning the title at Saturday night's main event. I feel like it will be such a bigger platform, a bigger PLE, um, maybe somewhere out of the states, possibly. But I don't see him winning. I don't see him winning. I'll be happy if he does, but I don't see him winning.
And I think a lot of the comments agree with you based on this. Everybody seems to want Jey Uso will, but actually, Numero One Superfly is predicting it as well. Jey Uso will win the World Championship thanks to Goldberg, and we'll have Goldberg versus Gunther at Mania. I mean, maybe that could happen. I mean, that's possible, but I think a lot of people are in agreement in these comments that with you, Megan, that they all want Jey to win, but it's unlikely he will. But to Shard's point, they need a curveball, and I think a world championship is the only thing which you can properly consider a curveball, to the point where for the next year and a half, people are going to tune into every single Saturday night's main event because they know it could happen. But Shard, do you think it will happen?
As much as I want to show gratitude to the King General Gunther, I gotta yeet. I gotta yeet. I gotta go with Jey Uso making big time moves and winning that Saturday night main event. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to be as blunt and honest as I can in regards to this topic because WWE listens to the fans. WWE sees the interaction that the fans have with Jey Uso, how over he is with the fans. There's something about capitalizing the moment, and I think they are going to have to capitalize the moment. Gunther, I love you, dog. You are one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. You have had one of the best intercontinental title reigns in the world. It's just not moving anybody right now with this championship reign. It's not. And it's not any fault to him. I've said this on our Tuesday shows all the time. The booking for him is so too close to home after a reign he just had. It just feels redundant. It feels boring. They're not feeding him any real big dogs in the fight. You know, he's not going against the Seths, the Sammys, at this point, the CM Punks. All of them are feuding amongst each other without a belt. So, like, what it makes it feel like they see Gunther not as a top guy in a way. They see him as a secondary dude. Jey Uso feels like main event Jey Uso. He feels like a big deal. He's main evented situations before, right? He's been in these big matches at pay-per-views against the big opponents, whether they be tag team or whether they be single matches. It don't got to be a long reign, like you said, Ben. But Jey Uso deserves it. This man has become the best happy accident in WWE in the last 5 to 10 years. I say that as after his brother got injured during the pandemic, he was a catalyst in the Tribal Chief storyline with Roman Reigns. He then gave us the journey throughout the entire Tribal Chief storyline in the bloodline. And then he became a superstar breaking out of it. He's really remade himself into this babyface. And I know people may not like his in-ring work that much, but it is the WWE, people. It's about who sells the tickets, who puts the butts in seats, who people buying the shirts for to him, who they're interacting before. And without a shadow of a doubt, Jey Uso is one of them ones that does it. So, in my humble opinion, if I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Gunther, I'm picking Jey Uso as my world champion. He's the guy that I can see on these TV shows with the belt doing media. He's the guy I can see on ESPN hanging out with the athletes, chilling at the basketball games. Gunther doesn't have that, and that's okay. That's not a problem. But we need someone that could do that because it is Rumble season and it is Mania season. So for that, I'm going with the upset. Archie might not be happy. David might not be happy. But for me, I got to eat.
I do agree. And something interesting you said was that Jey Uso deserves this, and he undoubtedly does. But something which fans deserve, which we haven't had for a long, long time, is a swerve at Elimination Chamber. A swerve on the road to WrestleMania is always fantastic, and we haven't had that in years now. It feels like years and years. I mean, I think the last time was when Bray Wyatt defeated John Cena in that Elimination Chamber in 2017. So yeah, it has been quite some time. So I would absolutely love for it to happen, for Jake to hold it until the Chamber and then lose it then.
Ben,
but also,
let
this
me
year's
ask
unpredictable.
Let me ask you something. How Gunther is positioned now, do you ever, and just looking at the roster at hand, do you ever see him main eventing a night 1 or 2 of a Mania?
Night 1, yeah. Night 2, no.
He could.
Think so?
Could. I want to bring up a point. First of all, they're not going to have two face heavyweight champions. So to make Jay a champion,
a couple of months they might.
I don't. Jay and Cody.
Cody's a heel.
For what is it? 40 days. They'll do it for 40 days.
But then, you know how mad people is going to get because this is the way we felt when he had the
I see.
Intercontinental title and y'all took it away from him so quickly.
It's true.
Here's the thing: the winner, who needs to be challenged by the winner at Royal Rumble? Cody don't need to be challenged by the winner at Royal Rumble because he's going to automatically get night 2 main event regardless.
Mhm.
This is how Cody has been booked. Gunther, he needs to be challenged by the winner at Royal Rumble. And that could be CM Punk, that could be John Cena, that could be Seth, even Drew. They can even run that back. I know we need that upset, but are we going to get that upset the week before Royal Rumble?
I think we
Are
could.
we?
Because it helps their deal too. It'll get people to tune into more Saturday night main event. And I do agree with you. I think Cena versus Gunther, if they do that, would
But
actually be amazing.
but I thought it was already confirmed that Jey Uso was going to be a participate in the Royal Rumble. So if he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, he can't possibly win.
You take his name out of it. Gives it to
Yeah,
his
they,
brother
they,
Jimmy.
they've
They
done that
already put his
before.
name in it. I'm
Is he
I take
telling
his
you
spot. I
Is
take
he
his
guys.
spot.
official?
Look, I will take his spot in the Royal Rumble because I want
There
an
we go. Problem
opportunity
solved.
to wrestle at WrestleMania, so I don't
I
have to
want to.
pay the expensive ticket price that they have at WrestleMania.
I want
You
to see
know,
That's
Shad
true.
and Jacob. I want to see y'all face off in the middle of the
oh, the world
ring.
will go crazy. That'd be fire.
Oh my gosh. I
See,
mean, numero
and
one
this is what
Superfly
me and
says
LeBron
it
said.
gives them
Now I'm starting to think that Megan is right, man.
it gives them the slogan. Well, here's my thing. I'll quickly say this, right? Because a lot of people are
Oh
saying
my goodness.
Gunther versus Punk. My issue with that is I will be so frustrated. There are two
Why?
storylines which they have built this past year. One of them is Cody Rock. The other, well, that's three. The other one's Roman Rock. So do one of those two. Obviously, now that's not going to happen. But the other one they've been building up is this perfect 3-way or even 4-way with 3 to 4 overlapping storylines between Punk, between McIntyre, between Rollins. And like I said, you could or could not use Roman. It's completely optional because he would work, but also, you don't have to chuck him in there. And that story has been built so well over 12 whole months. I think that deserves to be the night 1 main event. And I think that will only happen if a title is involved. So whether or not it's Jay, one way or another, I do think, unfortunately, and I'm a huge Gunther fan. I've been a huge Gunther fan since 2015. But I do think you got to take this championship off him before Mania, whether it's Jay or whether it's McIntyre in an Elimination Chamber match. I don't know. But somehow, some way, I think we need that triple threat because that is the story they have told for 12 months.
I'll put it this way: we've seen 2 promos between Jay and Gunther, and both times, like I said, I love me some Jay Uso, but both times Gunther has ate him up in them promos. Jay, I don't feel is the strongest on the microphone.
No, you're right.
But there is plenty of people who I feel can feed us until WrestleMania. One being CM Punk. I would love to see a promo between CM Punk and Gunther where they just throwing shots at each other, just going below the belt. The same way we got CM Punk and Seth, where we all was trying to figure out who won that promo. They both won.
Yeah.
Gunther can't yeet though. It's a superpower.
Look, now
Gunther don't know how to. Gunther
you
doesn't
gonna
know
make
the.
me
He doesn't
you
know the
gonna make me
direction
say
to the
something. You gonna
arena
make me say
where
something I
he.
regret. And the thing is, I don't see Jay main eventing at WrestleMania. I just don't.
No, I agree. I don't think Jay's going to main event. I think he's just a transitional champion. But I know, to your point, a lot of people
He don't
complained.
deserve that.
Well, no, but here's the thing. I think he
Why
does,
does
and
he
I'll
deserve it?
I'll say the reason.
He
To be a
yeets.
because
Yes.
Oh, to be a transitional champion.
No,
I
he
got
does
you, I got you,
deserve
I
it, and
got you, I got you, I
I'll
got you,
explain
I got you.
why.
yeah.
I thought you
Everybody
might be a
was
champion, my
so
bad.
No.
everyone
I
was
would
so
love to see him
upset
as champion. Yeah, go ahead.
when he lost the Intercontinental Championship. Everyone was so upset, which is the point. with a babyface like Jey Uso, they are not necessarily a champion who should be champion for months and months and months. Obviously, it suck losing it right before Mania. But at the end of the day, people like a Jey Uso, like a Jeff Hardy, they can't have long reigns. And the reason for that is fans love them so much. If they are champion, we've seen it with Cody, fans will turn on them. Any face which is champion for too long, fans slowly turn on. And people like a Jey Uso, like a Jeff Hardy, like a Rey Mysterio have always had short title runs because they are the underdog. And to keep them as the underdog in that position, they can't be on top for too long. Otherwise, they very simply won't be the underdog.
So if you feel that at some point Jay can be champion, why does it have to be now?
Oh,
Why
very
can't it be
simply
later
just
on down the
because of
line?
the Mania plan. It's just a piece in the puzzle which fits. But he doesn't have to. It could just be McIntyre wins or Punk wins the title in Elimination Chamber with Gunther. But this would make
Yeah,
events feel important.
it does. I guess I just don't see them snatching the title off of Gunther in what would probably still feel like a regular show.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair enough.
like, but like I said, look, I'll be happy if he does win, regardless. But if I'm asked who I think will win, Gunther.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out in just what you've already made your prediction, Shad. No going back now. We'll find out in just over 24 hours' time. It's going to be a great show, and this show has gotten me even more pumped for it. Thank you to Megan for joining me. Thank you to Shad for joining me. And thank you to everybody who's been in the comments today. Shout out to each and every single one of you. We will be back, same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of the SmackDown. See you guys then. Ba 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 ba. Peace.